started gardening about 25 years ago, and totally a trial and error gardener. I'm not a master gardener. I grew up in Iowa, so I have a little bit of that farm background, but it's nothing like here. So I started off with just a on-the-ground garden. That's where this big raised bed is now, was just an on-the-ground garden. That's what I did for many, many years, and then about, probably 8 or 9 years ago, I started having issues with my joints, and so I started building raised beds, and this is the so it kind of started with this, and then pretty soon, all these others keep getting added. I don't know how many more I will go with, but right now I produce enough food to actually sell some, and I freeze a bunch. I eat my potatoes and my root crops till about probably March. It's pretty cool, and it's just me and my son. My son's gone now, but it was just me and my son, so I'm not feeding a huge family, but like I said, I grow enough that I eat from it quite a while. So, and that's just with what you see here. So.
Yeah. So how do you have one? You do have one, but you'll see if we can have your Rocky here. Rocky's in front You never think these yards.
Was my son's sandbox, and I converted it because strawberries and asparagus really like a sandier soil. So I just added a bunch of soil to the sandbox and planted strawberries and asparagus in there. I did that as a lasagna garden. I tried that method, and that was really fun. It worked really well. So,
what's a lasagna garden?
It's when you start with just, you put cardboard just right on the grass, and then you start layering with peat, leaves, straw, dirt, you just layer it like lasagna, and then you just plant it. And then eventually, the cardboard disintegrates and the grass dies underneath, and you have a garden. I just lined it with brick, made a little raised bed out of it, and the potatoes do wonderful in it.
This is the Selby's yard.
I love this yard.
Well, my husband's amazing, actually.
No, you're the team effort. Come on.
So when we bought this house, this entire yard was nothing but grasshoppers. This is an old rental that had been infused by every tenant you could possibly imagine. And we had an old garage that had the same D-logs that this house had. And we tore that down to build the rental unit. And Chris built all of these raised beds based on a design we saw in Utah, thinking that, again, as you get older, it's nice to sit down and be able to garden, but they're so big that we're bending over anyway. But we are lazy gardeners. We'll put anything in the ground and see if it grows. And if it grows, that's great. We don't start a single seed indoors, but we do try to collect our seeds. And since I work at the library, and we have the seed library going on, now I'm trying to become a better seed gatherer than I've ever been before in the past and not cross-pollinate. But in our garden we have raspberry bushes that border just kind of a small area for our rental unit. The big sunflowers are Russian Titans, and we collect those seeds every year, although I'm starting to look at the flowers that we've got coming up this year, and I think we've got a couple of cross-pollination going on, and it's probably with Sue's yard. How big hers are. So between the two of us, we're dueling it out. We have beans growing, obviously dill, yellow squash. What looks like squash right here, these are pie pumpkins, and I found these pie pumpkins at a grocery store, a natural grocery store in California, brought them home, we cooked them up, saved the seeds, and we've been planting them every year. And I think this year, though, they've cross-pollinated, so they might not be true anymore. But lettuce, beets, potatoes, carrots, kale, chard, this was arugula, I'm gathering the seed. And inside the greenhouse, normally we have a great tomato crop, but this year everything that started died. And so you'll see that I went out and I bought plastic tubs because I thought my soil was bad, and I stuck them in the ground with holes in the bottom, and I stuck tomato plants in them, and it's a total experiment that's going on in there. But we also have cucumbers in here that were donated by our neighbors. Cucumbers here and in there. They never ever worked before, but this year we're getting actually a cucumber crop. We have an edamame plant in there that we're just growing for seed in the hopes that we can do more edamame next year. And then herbs wherever they spring up, and the garlic's already been harvested, and of course cabbages over there. So have fun.
I haven't even used the other
girl.
These are the pie pumpkins. Yeah, they're tiny little pie pumpkins, and they make one pie each, and they're just fantastic.
I love this. I love the not the regular drip system, the doing it in the air, letting it.
Tables. They love to see anybody pull up with drywall buckets in the back of their pickup and take it away. They're very gracious. They love that. If any of you have friends with chicken coops, they love to have you come over and clean their coops out, and that is also really great. It's called brown matter, not because it's poop, but because you have to, for compost, you have to have green matter and brown matter. And green matter is like your table scraps and your grass cuttings and things, plant cuttings from the garden. And then the brown matter is more broken down stuff that has the microbes in it that will, as you mix it and add water with it. And you do have to mix it a lot. Right. Yeah. If you can get hold of llama manure, that's really good because it's not hot. You can take fresh piles of llama manure and put it right in the vegetable garden. I've done it several times, and it doesn't burn. So and it's low in sodium. I learned that in the Master Gardener class, which you should all take because it's a blast, an absolute blast.
nice plug.
And then over here is another vegetable garden. This is all asparagus. I don't know if some of you may not be familiar with it, but with asparagus you can cut it with a spring up to a certain amount, like about 6 weeks, and then you just have to stop. You just have to stop, and it drives you crazy because these beautiful little asparagus spears are right there in front of you. But you have to stop and then let it go to fern, it's called. so that the roots have their chance to expand and give you asparagus for next year.
And the white impulse right there?
That's garlic.
Oh, that's garlic.
That's garlic, and you would want to cut those off before they do that. If you want to get better and bigger garlic, I just do it because it's pretty, you know, and I just let a lot of stuff go. That's the same with all the hollyhocks all around, and the
What a great thing to kind of...
the sunflowers.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. And the birds definitely do a lot of reseeding with that. And the thing with when you have it around your vegetable garden, I have to pull these out like weeds. I pull hundreds of hollyhocks out in the spring.
Wow.
And you have to rotate things. If you, like I have all my beans there this year, next year you don't want to put them there. You want to put them here, or you want to put them here or here.
It's a hybrid of some sort.
I think it, yeah. It's an alien.
It would have gotten elongated if it was a
It looks like a cross between a zucchini and a watermelon.
or zucchini and a pumpkin, maybe.
A lot of plants.
Yeah, maybe.
We never thought we could get pumpkins.
Really, you can eat them. I don't like them.
Oh, well.
How many nasturtiums does it take to make a meal?
Well, you just... Decorative.